Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make my 3D beaded strawberry. So I've got a few of them on here. So this is another strawberry tutorial, so I've already got quite a few on my channel, so I'll leave the beaded strawberry playlist down below so you can check out all the other shapes that I have. So this is the one we're making today, and it's actually the same exact pattern as my beaded blackberry. So this is what the blackberry looks like, and this is the strawberry, and the only thing that's different is how I do the stalk at the top. So I can explain when I get to that part how you would do it for the blackberry if you want to know, but the rest of it is exactly the same. You're obviously just using a different coloured bead to create this effect, and you're not adding the extra little seeds on the top. So if you want to know how to do this, you can just substitute your beads for black, and I also add in like the odd transparent red bead. It just gives it a more realistic look, I think. So to make a strawberry, you're going to need some size 11 seed beads in red. I'm using this white lined transparent red. It makes a really juicy looking berry, and this is I believe this is a preciosa bead. Yep, and it's the colour number. And then you'll need some green for the top. This green seed bead you're not going to see much of. It's hidden underneath all of the sparkly beads, so it doesn't really matter which green you use for that, just a light green. And this is an alabaster preciosa. I think it's called fresh green. And then I'm using a hex cut bead. This is the number. I got this from Spellbound Bead Company. And it's a really sparkly. And that is for the top stalk part of your strawberry. And then you need some size 15 seed beads for the little seeds. So any colour that you want. I'm using this copper colour, but when you use them on their own, they don't come out that bright. So that works. And this, I'm not really sure. This was just from a local craft shop. It doesn't, oh yeah, it does say peach, size 15. But I don't know, it doesn't really have a brand name or anything. They were just cheap, but they work. So any size 15 for your seeds, and then you'll need your beading thread. I use a white thread for this one, well, crystal. I'm using 6 pound fireline. This or wildfire is really good for this because they both have a structure to the thread, so it's gonna like hold the shape that you give it, if you see what I mean. Whereas if you use a thread like a Nymo or something that's too loose, you're not going to get the structure you need to hold the shape of the berry. So you want to be using like a fireline or a wildfire to get the right effect, because it's quite heavy beads and they might start to collapse in if the thread doesn't hold its shape. And then you'll need a beading needle. I'm going to use a size 12 hemline beading needle. And I think that's everything, so let's get started. Oh, and as for thread, for a strawberry you're going to need around 38 inches of thread, and then if you're doing the blackberry you'll need around 28 inches because there's less added at the top, and then you don't need to add the seeds as well. So 38 inches for a strawberry. So thread your needle, and then just zoom in a little bit. You're going to pick up 3 of your red beads, slide those down until they're around 4 inches from the end, or comfortable enough for you to hold it like this, and then go back through the first bead. So we have this. Then you're going to pick up one. Coming out of this one on the bottom, you're going to go straight through the next one. Picking up one, coming out of this one now, straight through the next one. Keep it pulled tight all the time. It's really important not to let your tension go loose or your strawberry will be floppy. Picking up another one, coming out of this one on the top, we're going to go through the next one and up into the one above, which is the first one we added in this row. So we're stepping up through that bead. Now we're in one of the beads on the top row. This time we're going to pick up 2. Coming out of here, we're going to skip over 1, go through that next one on the corner. Pick up 2. Coming out of here, skipping 1, through the next one. Pick up 2, coming out of here, skipping that one, that next one, going through the one after that and up into the one above. Now that is the first bead in the first group of 2 that we added in this row. So coming out of here, skipping 1, through the next one and up through the one above as well. So you have this, pull it nice and tight, and they should sort of already start to sit on the top. If they're not, just use your fingers to press them up so it starts to build upwards. Okay, this time picking up 1. We're coming out of here, you're going to go straight through that next bead in that first group of 2 that we added in the previous row. So it sits right in between them. This time picking up 1, coming out of here, skipping that one underneath and going through the next one. Now pick up 1. We're coming out of this bead here, you're going to go straight through the next bead. Again, that's one of those groups of 2 from the previous row, so that bead's just going to pop right in the middle of those. Now picking up 1, we're coming out of here, you're going to skip that one, go through the next one. Picking up 1, coming out of this bead here, so you're going to go straight through the next one. Oops. And finally for this row, so we're coming out of this bead here, you need to skip that one underneath, go through the next one and up into the one above. It's important that you don't go straight up into the one at the top. You need to skip over 1, through the next one and then up into the one above. Like that. Pull that through. You can put like your finger or your nail in the middle and pull it tight, encouraging all those beads to sit up. So we have this. Now picking up 1, coming out of here, you're going to skip over the bead underneath. So if you turn it on the side, you can see that these are the top row beads. You've got 6 beads in your top row, and then the beads that sit 1 row lower are the ones you're skipping over. So it's just easier if you turn it that way to see the different levels. From above they all kind of look level. So coming out of here, skipping over the one underneath and going through the next one on the top row. Picking up 1, skipping the one underneath and through the next one on the top row. Pick up 1, skip over 1, through the next one. Picking up 1, skipping over 1 and through the next one. Pick up 1, skip over 1, through the next one. And then the last bead of the row. So picking up 1, coming out of here, skipping over 1, through the next one and then up into the one above. Because it's not pulled tight yet, it's all the way over there and you might think you've got another bead to add here. So just pay attention to how many you're adding. So you add 6 beads in each row at the moment. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is your 6th bead. Just always follow that rule and keep count of your beads so you know where you are. So this is my 6th bead, skipping over one like always, through the next one and up into the one above. So you just need to have a close look and make sure you don't accidentally think there's a gap there. You need to keep going, because then you'll keep going forever and you'll never be able to step up. It gets really confusing, so just keep count of how many beads you're adding in each row. So then pull that through, and now you need to pull it really tight to close up all those gaps. So we have this. Now we're going to pick up 2, just 2. So we're coming out of this bead here, going to skip over one, go through the next one. Again picking up 2, this time we're picking up 6 groups of 2 in total. So this is our second, skip over one, through the next one. Pick up 2, skip over one, through the next one. And pick up 2, skip over one, through the next one. Picking up 2, skipping over one, through the next one. And then this is the last group of 2, so pick up 2, follow the same rule. So coming out of here, skipping over one, through the next one, and up through the 2 above this time. So just as long as you follow the same rule you've been following all the way around, you shouldn't get confused. So coming out, skipping over one, through the very next one, and then up through the 2 above. And that should keep you where you need to be, and then pull it nice and tight. So now we have this. This time picking up 1, skipping over 1, through the next 2, because we added those groups of 2 in the row below. I'm going to go through both of those and adding 6 beads in total in this row again. So picking up 1, skipping over 1, through the next 2. Again pick up 1, skip over 1, through the next 2, that's 3. This is number 4, skip over 1, through the next 2. This is number 5, skip over 1, through the next 2 beads, and the last bead of the row. Picking up 1, skipping over 1, through the next 2, like we have been doing all the way around, and then up into the one above as well. Pull that nice and tight. So now you have this. Now we're going to add 6 groups of 2. So pick up 2, skip over 2, through the next 1. Pick up 2, skip over 2, through the next 1. Pick up 2, skip over 2, through the next one. That was our 3rd group. Pick up 2, skip 2, through the next one. Picking up 2, skipping over 2, through the next one. That was our 5th group, so this is our last group of 2. So pick up 2, follow the same rule, skip over 2, through the next one, and then up through the 2 above. Pull that through, and as always, pull it really nice and tight. So this time picking up 1, skipping over 1, through the next 2. Pick up 1, skip over 1, through the next 2, adding 6 beads in total in the row if you wanted to speed ahead. Picking up 1, skipping over 1, going through the next 2. Picking up 1, skipping over 1, through the next 2. pick up one, skip over one, through two, picking up one, skipping over one, through the next two, and it's the last bead of the row, so up into the one above as well. Like that. Pull that through and pull it nice and tight. So for the next row we've got those gaps of two, but we're only going to be picking up one bead at a time, so it's going to start to close back in. So picking up one, but skipping over two and going through the next one. 6 beads again in total. Picking up one, skip over two and through the next bead. Pick up one, skip over two, through the next one. Pick up one, skip over two, through the next one. Picking up one, skipping over two and through the next one. Picking up one, skip over two, through the next one, and it's the 6th bead of the row, so step up through the one above as well, the next one along. So skip two, through one and up through the next one as well. Pull that through, pull that really tight because that's going to close your gap a little bit. So we have this. I'm going to do one more row of regular peyote where we're picking up one, skipping over one, through the next one. So coming out of here, skipping over one, through the next one. This is where it gets a bit tricky because you turn it on your side and they're not sitting up so much anymore because they're starting to close in. So you just need to follow the rule of skip one, through the next one, skip one, through the next one. So that's the first one, 6 beads in total. Pick up one, skip one, through the next one. Picking up one, skipping over one. See, like here, these 2 beads are already quite close together. So you just need to be concentrating that you're not, you know, skipping over this one because it looks like it's the next one. You need to really look at where it's sort of zigzagging up and down. So this is the row below. You're skipping over one in the row below and going through the next one on the top row. And again, picking up one, skipping over one, through the next one. Picking up one, skipping over one, through the next one, and then we're going to add the last bead of the row. So pick up one, skip the one in the row below, through the next one that's on the same row we're working on, and then up into the one above. I'm going to pull that nice and tight. So you've got 6 beads on the top row that you're working with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A bit easier if I turn it that way. See the ones that are sitting on the top. So now we're going to decrease and we're going to swap to our green beads. So not your hex cut ones, just your round green seed beads. Kind of blend into my nails. So picking up one, and you're going to go through the next 2 on the top row. So another way to describe that if you can't see which your 2 on the top row are is skip over one, through one, skip over one, through one, picking up 1 bead only. So through the next 2 on the top row. And then do the same thing 2 more times. So picking up 1 green, skip one, through one, skip one, through one, through the next 2 on the top row. And finally, 1 more. So skip over one, through the next one, skip over one, through the next one, and then up into the green bead above. Won't go all at once. So then up into the green bead. So just make sure you're coming out of that green bead, pull that really tight. So we have this. Now picking up 1 and going straight through the next green bead. Pick up 1, through the next green bead, and picking up 1, through the next green bead, and up through the one above. So now you want to go through those last 3 green that you added again, just to bring them all together. 1, 2, 3. Pull that really tight and you should have this. So at this point, if you were doing the blackberry and you want to do the same top as I did here, you're going to swap to your hex cut beads. You're going to move down into one of these bottom 3 green beads, so through here. And then from there you're going to pick up 3 hex cut and go straight through the next bead that's on that bottom group of 3, or outermost group of 3 as you look at it. Then pick up 3 hex cut, move around and through the next one, and pick up 3 and back to where you started through this one. Then you're going to step up into this innermost triangle and do the same thing, so picking up 3 hex cut into the next one, 3 into the next one, 3 and into there. And that's basically how I do the top of this one. So you can see we've got the little 3 groups of 3 on the bottom and then the 3 little groups of 3s on the top. And then your blackberry would be all finished. You just need to tie your knots and you're all done. But for the strawberry, we're going to go from here down into this one, just to start here. And you're going to pick up 5 of your hex cut beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can use normal seed beads if you don't have the hex cut. So coming out of this one, you can go straight back into that one that you're coming out of, but on the other side to where your thread's coming out, so you're creating a loop. Pull that through. Now you're going to go down through 2. Skipping over that 3rd bead, you're going to go up through the 2 on the other side. Pull that tight, make sure that thread goes underneath the bead on the end so it kind of comes to a point. Now you're going to go back down through the 2 on the other side. This time you're going to go through that one on the bottom and you want to anchor it into place, so it's really hard to describe exactly which bead you're going through, but as it lays flat where you want it to lay, you want to go into the beads underneath. So for me that's this group of 2 here, so I'm going to go through those 2 and then back into the bead on the other side. So just anchoring it to any bead underneath. It doesn't have to be the same one as me, just so that it lies nice and flat where you want it to. Then you're going to go back up through the 2, back through the one at the top of the strawberry, and then you're going to move up and through the next one. This time we're going to pick up 4. And go back into the bead you're coming out of on the opposite side. We're going to go down through 2, up through 2, straight back down through 2, and that's just going to cinch them together at the top, which is the reason why I do that. So they're not sitting wide apart, they're kind of together. Then you're going to do the same thing you did over there, so just attaching it to the bead underneath. And then back up into the other side. So I've attached it to this side, so we're going to go back up through these 2 on the other side. Pull that nice and tight. Back into the bead they're connected to on the top. And then moving through the next one. So now we're going to do the same thing we did here on this one. So picking up 5, I'll just go through it quickly one more time. Go back into the bead you're coming out of on the opposite side to create a loop, going down through 2, skipping 1 and up through the 2 on the other side, down through the 2 on this side, she says. Again, that kind of just cinches them together at the top, which is why we do that. Across through the one on the bottom, and then you're anchoring it into place, so lay it down where you want it to sit and attach it to the bead or 2 beads underneath. Sometimes it makes sense to go through 2 if they're sitting as a group of 2 like those 2 there. And then back through the bead, back up the side and across through the one on the top, and then moving around to the next one. So here we're going to do the same thing we did with the group of 4, so I'll just show you again. 4, pick up 4, go back through the bead you're coming out of, down through 2, up through 2, back down through 2 to cinch them together, and then attaching it to the bead underneath. And back up through the other side. So it's attached to both sides, like that. And then you're going to go back across, down and into the next. So here you're going to add a group of 5 like we did before, here and here. And then on this last one, you're going to add a group of 4 like we did here and here. So go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you how to add your little seeds. So I've added my last little group of 4. So whether you've moved through this bead or whether you're still coming out the top of here like I am, you just want to move down and into that bead you connected it to on the strawberry. And then you can move down and around a little bit, following the path diagonally of the beads, just down a little bit until you're onto the main body of the strawberry. Then you're going to add your seeds. So to do that, I literally just pick up one, and I'm coming out of this one, so I'm going to go into, whichever next bead it is, and that's just going to sit on the top like that. And then I don't like to do too many seeds, so then I'm going to move around again. Depends how many you want, you can add as many as you want. I'm going to pick up one through the next one, and then I'm going to come up a little bit and around, picking up one and going into the next bead up here. Then I'm going to come back down a little bit and around, picking up one and going into the next one here. And then when I've added a few, I'm going to turn it around and have a look, see where I want to add some more. So I'm just going to come up here. I'm going to add one in here. And it's just about your own personal choice here, and how many seeds you want to add. So you just keep going around, manoeuvring your way up and down the piece until you've added as many as you want. Keep stopping, holding it away and having a look, because you can get carried away quickly with this and add too many seeds. So carry on doing that, and then I will show you how to tie your knots. Okay, so when you're ready to tie your knots, you want to take your needle under the thread that's going to connect the bead that you're coming out of to the next one. See that thread? Make sure your needle goes under the thread, like that. Pull that through until you've got a small loop, and then go up through the loop from bottom to top twice, pulling it down slowly and then tightly. Make sure that knot really tightens. Move through the next bead, pull it tight, and you'll see that knot has now vanished inside this bead, so you can't see it. Then you want to move around a little bit further and do the same again. And do that until you've used up as much thread as possible. The more knots you tie and the more times you go round, this is going to be more secure and give you a more sturdier, less collapsible strawberry. So just keep going, and then after you've cut that thread off, thread your needle onto your tail thread, which is this one, and do the same thing to tie off this thread, and then you'll be all finished. And the way I recommend turning this into a charm, if you were going to, I was using it for my phone straps, would be to take a head pin straight through the middle here. Make sure it comes out straight through the middle at the top. You can use your needle to kind of guide that hole so that it comes out of there, and create a loop with that. That would be the easiest way, I would say. You could add a loop of beads here at the top, but there's not really a good single middle starting point to add a loop of beads. So I would say head pin is your best option for turning it into a charm. And then you'll be all finished. So once you've done all that, then that is your strawberry all finished. So this is how it turned out. I think it's a really cute, chubby little strawberry, really sparkly if you use the hex cut beads. So cute. And also you've learned how to make a blackberry. If you wanted to do that, you could do it in raspberry colour as well. It's a bit similar to one of my other beaded raspberries in the shape wise. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and you're able to make one of these. Comment down below anything else you'd like to see from me, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video to see more of my videos, and you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Beading by Hannah. Thanks so much for watching everyone, see you next time, bye!